Hey dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about two things. The first thing I want to mention is kind of this like nude shirtless picture that was taken of Jungkook with another man. We will get into that. I also want to talk about BigHit's new show. I believe this is Big Hit with Mnet. Now my opinion is that Mnet shows a lot of times are not usually that great. So I definitely thought this would be interesting to check out and talk about. I watched it yesterday night and I definitely wanted to give my opinions and my feelings on everything that happened and just give a little recap on it. So if you want the tea on that, if you are new here and you're interested in this type of stuff, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so you'll be notified anytime a new video drops. And if you're a hater, like to be the first to leave your hate comment, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell also so you can be the first to do so. Now, let's get into it. Now, the first thing I want to jump in today, which is a nice little fun topic, is going to be Jungkook shirtless with another man. This was a photo that was taken, and yes, that man that Jungkook is shirtless with is going to be Jin. But before we jump into that, let me give you some context on what has been going on with Jin. Some stuff that's been happening all these years with Jin. The stuff that he has to put up with. Oh, the pain he must feel just to get a selfie. We know our sweet maknae Jungkook likes to play little pranks on people sometimes, likes to be playful, likes to tease the other BTS members, cause a little bit of trouble wherever he goes. It's no shock there. So he once photobombed Jin by just jumping into it. Like, that looked like it was going to be such a good picture. Jin was all like ready, looking like a model. He got his hand in his hair, his leg up. He was looking like a full-blown Instagram model. And then Jungkook just yeeted himself in there. He was like, nope, have a flying Jungkook. Jin could probably crop that photo and it would still look very good, but it honestly looks even better with Jungkook there. It's a whole different type of photo, if you will. It has a different feel to it, you know? It's hilarious. Then you have other photos where all the members kind of come together and photobomb Jin all at once, while it looks like they're removing their makeup or hydrating their eyes. I'm not sure what's happening here. Jin's eyes looks beautiful. He don't need that cotton pad. He just wanted a simple bathroom selfie, and all of them came in at once, just said family photo, but we stan it. We love it. I might save this photo and put it as my background. I like how everyone looks here. Jimin is also someone who likes to kind of photobomb and kind of jump in there when he gets a chance to with Jin. There was this photo where Jin was posing next to an anime character. Forgive me, I don't know where this is from. Jimin was just like, haha, I'm gonna be in it too. And then he was in it. They posted that. They look so cute. Jimin knows how to be cute, even when he's not even trying. Like, look at that face. First off, it's memeable. And second of all, it's attractive. Jin looks so over it in this picture too. He's like, I can't even get one photo to myself. I love it. And then finally, we have the picture that you guys are here for, that we are going to be talking about today, which is the 3 photos that he posted on Twitter. One self of himself, and then 2 photos of what appears like Jungkook's nude back, nude arms, and oh, would you look at those biceps? What are you doing to us, baby? How do you want us to live after seeing that photo? If you do go down to the replies on Twitter and see what some of the armies are saying, some armies felt like they were kind of interrupting a moment. Like it was something they should almost keep a secret, which is obviously a joke, right? Because BTS posted it. One person wrote, I was going to scream Moon has 48th #1 in iTunes, but never mind, carry on. And there is a meme of Homer closing the door. Well, congratulations on the iTunes thing. But we have bigger things to talk about once they ended up dropping a Twitter picture. I found this to be hilarious and I could not stop laughing. You have Jin's beautiful face. You have Jungkook all shirtless in this post. I mean, could you ask for more? I don't think so. You would be kind of greedy in life, I think, if you wanted to ask for more. Another person on Twitter actually agreed with what I said and then wrote this. I would never thought I would get Seokjin's juicy lips and Jungkook's bare deltoids and biceps in one picture, but we stay winning. I mean, same girl. I don't know how I feel about this. My emotions are just flying. And right now, I can't just sit here and express my emotions today. I love our boys. I love how our young Jin oppa, because Jin is actually older than me, I think. I love how he handles these situations. He doesn't even care at this point that he's being photobombed. He's like, just take the picture. I even more so love the fact that he posts these photobomb pictures because it's a blessing in our eyes. Speaking of blessings in our eyes, I wanted to talk about Island and whether or not it was a blessing in our eyes or not. I thought probably I should make a completely separate video on this and a whole thing on its own because a whole episode recap is an entire thing. But I didn't know if anyone on this channel was interested in that. But there is more episodes coming out, so if you do want a review or me to talk about something like this, then I will definitely kind of make more videos. So if you're interested, please just let me know that you want to see more Island review episodes and I will definitely make more. Because I have some thoughts on the show even thus far. So let me explain this kind of in the easiest way possible, a simple way to kind of break down what the show is about, because it does get kind of confusing in my opinion, or maybe it's just not confusing at all and I'm just dumb. We have uncovered that there are scenarios where I am very dumb. This episode was an hour and 18 minutes. I don't know if all of them will be this long, but the first one was definitely this long. I was seeing people online with kind of titles of like, is this the worst show ever? So I definitely wanted to go and see it myself and see if I could figure out whether it was a good show or not for me. The people who made the show did a really good job, in my opinion, kind of creating this world. The world of Island, where all these kind of K-pop trainees train in almost this perfect training environment. Like, Island is supposed to be this place where all the trainees will have everything they need to train and make their debut. A practice room, a sleeping room, a training room, a medical room. But of course, not all the contestants that were introduced to the show get into Island. The show opens up with about like 23 contestants kind of coming into Island. It's shown as kind of this like cube building. Beautiful cube, and they call it Island. All these contestants walk into it, they're always surprised at how beautiful the building looks, how futuristic it looks, and they basically walk into what seems like a waiting room. In kind of a separate room, you have the three producers who are going to be working on the show. You have Rain, Zico, and of course Bang PD, who is the CEO of Big Hit and BTS. They were basically in this waiting room with all the monitors there, and they got to view everyone who was coming in to the Island cube. They basically sat there and they talked about how good looking everyone was, and basically how you have to see how this person is better than this person, well, all that stuff. Which is so weird to me because when I was in my teens, I literally looked so awkward and ugly. But these guys are like born good looking. They don't have an awkward phase. How? Anyway, let's just say that the budget for the show is definitely there. The floors would light up, and it felt very futuristic. I can only imagine how the contestants would have felt going into it, because it must have been really overwhelming to step into something like that. So once they were in the waiting room, they announced that only 12 people could actually go into Island. The waiting room wasn't actually Island. The waiting room was to wait to get into Island. And then the rest of the people who didn't make it would basically leave the building. The only way to determine who leaves and who stays is the contestants have to perform in front of the other contestants. So they're not performing in front of judges. They're not really performing for the sake of Bang PD or Rain or Zico. In fact, I don't even know if the contestants were aware that Bang PD, Rain, or Zico were even watching at all, because at this point they had not met any of them. So people would either perform in groups of 3, groups of 2, or by themselves, and it was all very dramatic. So of course the 3 producers watch everything happening through their 37 monitors. They just kind of watch and give their reaction to the performance. I would expect kind of critiques from 3 of like the most famous people, right? I don't think any of them provided really any information. Nothing that was interesting. Like, Zico and Rain are like the best performers ever. I was expecting some like really good critiques on the trainees dancing. Let's say you're a trainee kind of watching the show, you would expect to get some advice from them, saying things like, maybe if he did this, it would be better. And there just wasn't too much or enough of that in my opinion. The thing that I find strange that they did, which isn't a completely new concept, but I definitely felt like it was weird to do for a singing competition. So obviously only 12 could go through to Island out of the 23. And the people who would get to stay in Island were voted by the 23 contestants. Now you see the problem here, right? Now, of course, most of the contestants were actually pretty fair and honorable, which is very, very nice. However, even though they were voting for people that were good, I did feel like at times this wasn't fair. There were a group that I felt like their dancing wasn't very good. They only got through because they were one of the first people to go up. And obviously the contestants are much kinder in the beginning because there's a lot of spots left, so they're just like, you get a spot, you get a spot, you get into Island. Also, what they mentioned was the standard in the beginning wasn't going to be as high because no one had seen anyone perform yet. So if you go up first, you are actually setting the standard for what's coming up next. So obviously the first person to go up would have had the advantage. But when there was only 3 spots left out of the 12 of who can actually go into Island, people felt very stingy about voting people into Island, especially since there were 3 spots left, but there were like 2 groups that hadn't performed yet. So right off the bat, you can kind of see that I feel like it's unfair, because I don't think the spots should have been voted on until everyone got the chance to perform. You can compare them after everyone performs and then vote who you think the best should be to go into the 12. But basically what ended up happening was 16 people actually got voted into Island. And then the other contestants that were left, which was 7 people, had to basically leave Island, leave the cube building, and go into another building, a place outside of the cube called ground. Now, a lot of people think when you lose a competition, you go home, because that's what they say, right? Like, okay, go pack your bags, go home. Not really with competitions. 99% of competitions, they actually still stay in the hotel, or they're not allowed to go home. They still stay around the set. And they usually do so until the competition is over. This is just so you don't leak anything. And maybe if they'll need you back for the show for some reason, you'll come back. So basically 16 people were allowed to go into Island. But they had to vote out within 2 hours 4 people because only 12 were actually allowed to stay, remember? So very intense for the trainees. I would imagine they were so nervous. But the episode kind of ended there. Now, what are my thoughts? I like the show a lot. I definitely don't think it's the worst show ever. I do think it's very confusing because as I was even explaining it, it is very confusing. But it was definitely hard to understand because they had this huge counter on the wall. These were, of course, the people that were allowed into Island. And then the 12 people that were voted in, the counter would then go down. So if one person was voted in, the 12 would turn to 11, 10, etc. The counter kept going down until there was negative. But I understand they're trying to create this kind of alternate universe where it's like a survival type of thing. So it needs to be very dramatic and it needs to be very different. And of course, they're trying to do something that no one's ever done before, and they're trying to do it in every aspect possible. So of course, they're trying to avoid any cliches. So I get what they're doing. I think the show has a lot of potential. I want to hear more about what you think about this. Tell me if you watched it and you disagree or agree with what I'm saying. Do y'all hate it? Do you like it? Let me know. Leave it down in the comment section down below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm featuring this comment right here. Thank you so much for leaving comments. And as always, I do have a Patreon. If you want to go over to my Patreon and kind of check everything out and contribute back to this channel, anything you can contribute over there really does help kind of give back to this channel, help me make better videos on here, all that jazz. So I really do appreciate you going over there and checking that out. You can also get exclusive content over there, such as music video reactions, performance reactions, ship reactions, all that stuff. You can also request things over there. Just make sure you check it out. Link in the top of the description down below. There's also 2 videos that will appear up on the end of the screen on this video. So make sure you click on one of those videos and I will see you over there. Bye.